The sun was just rising over the jagged mountains of Damaris 9 when the ancient ship groaned. It was a sound that seemed alive, echoing across the rocky plains as if the enormous structure itself had been sleeping for 1,000 years and was now stirring from a long, painful dream. Dust shifted around the ship's base as faint vibrations hummed through the ground. Captain Alara Venn tightened her grip on the railing of the landing craft, staring at the massive silhouette before her. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Its hull was smooth yet jagged in some areas, covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly in the morning light. It was enormous, stretching for nearly a kilometer, partially buried in the rocky soil. The crew had been sent to investigate reports of a lost vessel detected in orbit, but none of their scanners could explain its power readings or the strange energy waves that seemed to pulse from its core. Alara stepped down from the craft, her boots crunching against the gray, brittle soil. Beside her, Lieutenant Rena Kaur checked the sensors on her portable device. "Energy readings are fluctuating," Rena said, her voice tight with excitement. "It's like the ship itself is alive. I've never seen anything like this." "Alive," Alara repeated, raising an eyebrow. She had learned long ago to temper her imagination in the field, but something about this vessel made her doubt even her own logic. "Yes," Rena said. "It's subtle, but the pulses match no known energy signature. It's as if the ship is breathing." Dr. Kiran Shaw, the ship's xenobiologist, stepped closer to the hull. His eyes widened as he traced the glowing symbols with a gloved hand. "These markings, they're not just decorative. They respond to our presence. See how they shift when I move closer?" Alara leaned in. The symbols were faint lines etched into the metal, glowing a soft blue as if charged with energy. They twisted slightly, like smoke caught in a gentle wind. The effect made the massive hull feel less like an object and more like a creature observing them, calculating their intentions. The team was silent for a moment, each member feeling the weight of the ancient technology before them. Then the ground trembled, just slightly, and the ship emitted a low, mournful groan. Dust fell from the hull as if the vessel had just woken from a deep sleep. Alara signaled the crew to stay back. "Let's proceed carefully. This is not a museum artifact. It's something else. Something alive, maybe. Treated as such." Rena frowned. "Alive or dangerous? Could be both." "Exactly," Alara said. "We proceed with caution." They approached a large hatch, partially hidden under layers of rock and dust. With effort, they removed debris and activated a portable scanner. The reading was astonishing. The hatch's locking mechanism was far beyond human design, powered by a type of energy they had never encountered. Even their most advanced tools only registered faint traces of its operation. "Captain," Rena said, "I think I can interface with it, but we have no guarantee it will respond safely. It might be a trap." Alara nodded. "Do it, but carefully. One mistake and we could trigger the ship's defenses. We need answers, not casualties." Rena knelt beside the hatch, placing her hands on the device. Her fingers brushed over etched panels that responded to touch. Lights shimmered along the hull, patterns forming like constellations. Then, with a deep mechanical groan, the hatch began to slide open. The sound was like metal singing, resonant and mournful. Inside, the darkness was almost complete. The faint glow from the hull's symbols was the only light, casting long shadows across the interior. The crew shone their flashlights, revealing hallways far wider and taller than anything humans had constructed. The walls shimmered with the same strange, flowing symbols, twisting as though alive. Dr. Shaw stepped in first, awe written across his face. This is incredible. The material alone. It's organic and metallic at the same time. The symbols. They move. They communicate." Alara followed, keeping her hand near her sidearm. "Communicate? With who?" she asked quietly. "Or what?" Dr. Shaw corrected. "I think the ship itself is sentient." The crew moved carefully through the halls, each step echoing in the vast chamber. Occasionally, faint vibrations traveled through the floor, resonating with their bones in a way that was uncomfortable but mesmerizing. Rena stopped suddenly. "Captain, sensors are picking up something ahead. Life signs. But faint. Maybe artificial. Maybe preserved." Alara motioned the crew to follow. They arrived at a massive chamber, dominated by a series of pods lined in perfect rows. Some were empty, open with shattered glass-like coverings. Others contained beings that were clearly not human, preserved in stasis. Their forms were elegant, elongated, with delicate limbs and heads slightly larger than humans, with pale, smooth skin. They were alien, but their shapes suggested intelligence and advanced evolution. Dr. Shaw's voice trembled. This is a preservation chamber. These beings, they were waiting, maybe for someone to find them, or for someone worthy," Rena added. Alara stepped forward, her gaze moving across the stasis pods. "We need to document everything, but we cannot touch anything without authorization. This is history, and it could be dangerous. Stay alert." The crew set up scanners and began recording data. As they did, one of the pods emitted a faint glow, catching everyone's attention. The light formed into a holographic projection, flickering and then stabilizing. A figure appeared, alien, elegant, and regal. The image spoke in a language the crew could not understand, but subtitles appeared on their devices automatically, translating the message. "Travelers of the distant world, you have awakened us. We are the keepers. This vessel carries the legacy of countless civilizations. It is a seed, a vessel to protect life and knowledge, but its awakening requires proof of worthiness. Only those who demonstrate courage, wisdom, and unity may inherit our mission. Beware, for this path is not without peril." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The message was clear. The ship was alive in some sense, and it was testing them. The implications were staggering. If the ship truly contained advanced technology and knowledge, it could change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Alara took a deep breath. "We've been chosen to awaken it," she said quietly. "That's our mission now. We proceed carefully. Remember, the ship is sentient. It's observing us. Every move we make matters." The ship groaned again, louder this time, as if acknowledging her words. Dust fell from the ceiling, and vibrations traveled through the floor. The crew felt a strange resonance in their chests, almost like the heartbeat of a living creature. Dr. Shaw moved closer to the hologram. "It's communicating more than just warnings. Look at the symbols they respond to our thoughts. They change when we focus on different emotions. This ship, it feels, it understands, and it's testing us." Alara nodded. "Then we test ourselves as well. Every action, every choice counts. Let's continue exploring, but carefully. Stay together, stay alert, and remember why we are here." The crew moved deeper into the ship, entering hallways that twisted and curved in ways that seemed impossible. Gravity shifted subtly in places, making them feel light or heavy depending on their position. The symbols on the walls pulsed with a soft glow, guiding them, or perhaps observing their reactions. They reached a central chamber, dominated by a massive console, unlike anything they had seen. It was a lattice of metal and crystal, pulsing with energy. Touching it caused waves of information to flow into their minds, images of star systems, civilizations rising and falling, vast networks of knowledge. Rena gasped. "It's showing us history. Entire civilizations. Their rise and fall. Their knowledge. All of it stored here." Dr. Shaw stepped closer, his hand trembling. "And it wants us to understand it, to prove that we are capable of handling this knowledge responsibly." Alara placed a hand on the console. "We've come this far. We've awakened the ship. Now we must prove that humanity is ready." A deep hum filled the chamber, vibrating through the walls and floors. The ship's moan grew louder, resonant and almost vocal. It was as if the vessel was stretching, shaking off the sleep of millennia. Dust and debris fell around them, but the ship seemed protective as well, guiding their movements. For the first time, the crew realized that this was more than a mission. It was a test of character. Every decision, every act of courage and cooperation mattered. The ancient ship was not just a relic, it was a living testament to civilizations past, waiting for the next worthy custodians to continue its legacy. Alara looked at her crew, their faces a mix of fear, awe, and determination. "We may not know what awaits us," she said, "but we face it together. Humanity has always survived the impossible. We adapt, we overcome, and we learn. This ship, this vessel of the ancients, it may be our greatest challenge yet, but we will meet it. Well, we will meet it." The sun climbed higher over the barren mountains, and the ship groaned once more, louder and deeper. As if acknowledging their resolve, the first rays of light illuminated the vast interior, and for the first time, the crew saw the true scale of the vessel. It stretched into darkness, endless and full of secrets, waiting for those who dared to awaken its potential. Captain Alara Venn took a deep breath and stepped forward. Humanity had reached the edge of the unknown, and the ancient ship had just begun to wake. The crew of Captain Alara Venn moved cautiously through the vast corridors of the ancient ship. The hallways seemed endless, stretching far beyond what their scanners could measure. The walls pulsed softly with light, almost as if the vessel itself was alive and aware of their presence. Every step they took echoed, yet the sound was oddly muted, absorbed by the strange material of the ship's interior. Rena Kaur, the lieutenant, examined her sensors with growing excitement. "Captain, the readings are incredible. The energy signature is complex, like it's adapting to us. It's not just a power source, it's intelligent." Alara nodded. "Exactly what I suspected. This ship isn't a machine. It's a guardian, a repository of knowledge, maybe even life itself. We must treat it with respect, but we also need to understand it." Dr. Kiran Shaw, the xenobiologist, crouched beside one of the glowing panels lining the wall. "These symbols, they respond to touch, yes, but also to our thoughts. Look, when I focus on curiosity, the light flows in patterns that are calm and measured. When I focus on fear," he hesitated as the lights flared erratically, "they flicker violently. This ship senses us. I think it's learning who we are." Alara kept moving, her boots crunching softly against the floor. "Then we show it that we are worthy. That's the only way forward. Stay alert. And remember, we don't know what's inside this vessel. It could be dangerous." The first chamber they entered after the long corridor was enormous. The ceiling arched high above them, covered in the same flowing symbols that seemed to ripple like liquid. In the center of the chamber were pods, similar to those they had seen before. But these were active. Holographic displays floated above them, projecting images of stars, planets, and alien landscapes. Dr. Shaw stepped forward, his voice hushed with awe. "It's a library. Not a library like we know, but a living archive. The ship contains knowledge of entire civilizations, their histories, their discoveries. Some of these worlds may no longer exist, yet their memory lives here." Rena's eyes widened. "If we can access even a fraction of this, it could change everything for humanity. Science, medicine, exploration. We could leap centuries ahead." Alara surveyed the chamber, noting the precision and scale of the ship's interior. "We must be careful. Knowledge this advanced comes with responsibility, and maybe dangers. Let's proceed systematically. Document, analyze, and interact carefully. One wrong move could trigger defenses we can't even imagine." As they moved closer to the pods, a sudden vibration rippled through the floor. The lights pulsed, and a holographic figure appeared before them. It was humanoid but distinctly alien, with elongated limbs and a luminous form. Its eyes glowed softly, and its presence carried a weight of authority. "Travelers of distant worlds," the figure intoned, its voice echoing softly in their minds rather than through sound. "You have awakened the Keeper's vessel. You have proven curiosity and courage, but these alone are not enough. To continue, you must demonstrate unity, intelligence, and compassion. The ship will test you. Those who fail may never leave its halls." Alara's jaw tightened. "We accept the challenge," she said firmly. "Humanity has faced impossible odds before. We will not fail." The figure inclined its head, and the hologram dissolved. In its place, the walls around them shifted, revealing a passage leading deeper into the ship. The corridor was darker now, with shadows that moved almost independently. Yet the glowing symbols provided guidance, faint but steady. As the crew advanced, the air grew warmer, the walls radiating a soft hum. Occasionally, faint images flickered along the panels, scenes of alien worlds, starships navigating nebulae, and civilizations rising and falling. The ship seemed to be showing them history, but also observing their reactions. Rena paused at one flickering image. "Captain, look at this. That world is being destroyed by its sun. Entire cities vanish in seconds. The people, I think they didn't survive." She swallowed hard, her hand shaking slightly. "It's horrifying. And yet, it's beautiful. The knowledge, the culture, it's preserved here. Somehow, in this ship." Dr. Shaw knelt beside her. "The ship preserves civilizations, even when they're gone. It may be trying to teach us that knowledge and life are precious, that every species, every culture matters." Alara placed a hand on the glowing wall. "Then we show it that humanity can value life, knowledge, and each other. That's how we prove our worthiness." The passage ended at a massive chamber with a structure that dominated the center. A crystalline interface surrounded by concentric rings of metal that hummed with energy. The air shimmered, and the temperature shifted slightly as they approached. "This must be the core," Rena whispered. "The heart of the ship." Dr. Shaw ran a hand along the crystal. "The interface, it's alive. It responds to our presence, our thoughts, our intentions. If we are not careful, we could trigger something catastrophic." Alara stepped closer. "We are here to understand, to cooperate, not to conquer. Focus on learning, not fear. That's the way forward." The crystal pulsed in response, and suddenly, a sequence of images and symbols flooded their minds. They saw alien ships traveling faster than light, vast cities floating in space, and beings of intelligence far beyond human comprehension. The ship's memory unfolded before them, overwhelming yet enlightening. Rena stumbled back slightly. "It's so much. My mind. I can feel the knowledge flowing into me. It's like the ship is reading us, testing how much we can handle." Dr. Shaw nodded. "And judging us. It's measuring our patience, our understanding, our empathy. If we panic or act recklessly, it may consider us unworthy." Alara took a deep breath, centering herself. "Then we stay calm. We observe, we learn, and we support each other. This is what makes us human. The ability to face the unknown together." The crystal pulsed again, and a path opened within its structure. A doorway, luminous and ethereal, appeared at the far end of the chamber. The crew stepped toward it, and the ship seemed to respond, guiding them with gentle vibrations through the floor. Inside the next chamber, they found what looked like a control center, though unlike any they had ever seen. The panels were smooth, seamless, and lit from within. Symbols moved fluidly across the surfaces, responding to their movements and even their thoughts. Dr. Shaw stepped forward, cautiously placing a hand on one panel. The symbols shifted instantly, forming shapes he could comprehend: star maps, planetary systems, and schematics of unknown technology. "It's giving us access, but slowly. testing how we interact, how we respond to its gifts. Rena leaned closer, her eyes wide. Captain, look at this. These star systems. Some are unexplored, uncharted by humanity. We could reach them, study them, learn from them. The potential is infinite, Alara nodded. Infinite, yes, but we must proceed with care. We are guests in this vessel. We take only what we can understand and respect. A sudden vibration ran through the chamber, stronger than before. The lights flickered, and the symbols rearranged themselves, forming a sequence. The crew realized it was a puzzle, a challenge the ship had created. Rena frowned. It's testing us. We need to solve this to continue. But it's not like any logic puzzle I've seen. It's alive. Dr. Shaw studied it carefully. It responds to intention, not just action. We must approach it not as a machine, but as a partner. We need to demonstrate cooperation, patience, and understanding. Alara placed a hand gently on the sequence, guiding Rena and Shaw to do the same. Slowly, they moved together, syncing their thoughts and actions, and the symbols began to flow in harmony. The chamber resonated with energy, and the puzzle unlocked, revealing another passage, deeper into the ship. The crew exchanged relieved glances. We did it, Rena whispered, awe in her voice. We passed the first test, Alara smiled faintly. And there will be more. This ship is ancient, wise, and patient. It tests those who seek its knowledge. And we have just begun. As they moved into the next chamber, the ship seemed to hum louder, almost approvingly. Images of alien civilizations continued to flash along the walls, showing lives, struggles, triumphs, and failures. The crew felt a growing sense of responsibility. This was not just exploration, it was stewardship. They were witnesses to the legacy of a civilization that had reached heights beyond imagination. And now, humanity had a chance to prove itself worthy of that legacy. The deeper they went, the more alive the ship felt. It guided them, observed them, and challenged them. Every step, every thought, every choice mattered. The ancient vessel had awakened, and with it, the journey of humanity had taken a turn toward something far greater than mere survival. It was a test of character, courage, and unity. Alara led the crew onward, each member aware that the challenges ahead would require not just intelligence, but wisdom and compassion. The ancient ship was vast, alive, and sentient. And as they delved deeper into its heart, they realized that this mission would define the future of humanity, not through conquest or technology, but through the human spirit itself. The sun outside continued its climb over the barren mountains of Damaris 9, casting long shadows across the ship's hull. Inside, the vessel responded with a soft, approving hum, as if it recognized that its awakening had been met with courage, understanding, and unity. The journey had only begun, but already, the crew felt the weight and promise of what lay ahead. They were explorers, scholars, and guardians, chosen by an intelligence older than human history itself. The ancient ship had awoken, and with it, the future of humanity had taken its first step into the unknown. The deeper the crew moved into the ancient ship, the more it revealed its living nature. Hallways bent in ways that defied human perception, as if the vessel was stretching itself to accommodate their passage. The glowing symbols on the walls shifted constantly, responding not only to their presence, but to their emotions. Curiosity made the light dance slowly, fear made it spike violently, and excitement made it shimmer like a river of stars. Captain Alara Venn led the way, keeping her senses alert. "Stay together," she said. "This ship is alive in more ways than we can understand. We cannot rush it or force it. We must move with care." Lieutenant Rena Kaur adjusted her portable scanner. "Captain, the energy readings are off the charts. The ship isn't just responding, it's evaluating us. Everything we do, Every choice we make is being recorded, measured. Dr. Kiran Shaw nodded gravely. It's a judgment. This vessel is ancient, and it has seen civilizations rise and fall. It can sense who is worthy and who is not. That's why it tests us. It's preparing us for something far greater. They reached a vast chamber, its ceiling disappearing into shadows above. In the center floated a holographic map of a star system, planets orbiting a brilliant sun in perfect harmony. Streams of light connected each world, and as the crew approached, the map seemed to expand, revealing even more systems, some marked with symbols that none of them recognized. "This is incredible," Rena whispered. "It's a navigation map. But it's more than that. It's like the ship is showing us where life exists, where civilizations have thrived, and where danger might lie." Alara stepped closer, her hand hovering over the holographic display. "It's giving us choices. We can explore these worlds, study them, maybe even guide them if necessary. But we must understand the responsibility this entails. Knowledge without wisdom can destroy as easily as it can create." As they studied the map, a sudden vibration passed through the floor. The walls pulsed with light, and the air grew warmer. A new projection appeared, a figure, more detailed and imposing than the ones they had seen before. Its eyes glowed like twin suns, and its voice resonated directly in their minds. "Travelers," it said, "you have progressed. But progression alone is not enough. The Keeper's vessel tests the integrity of those who seek to awaken it. You must demonstrate unity, courage, and empathy. The challenges ahead will measure not your strength or knowledge, but your spirit." Dr. Shaw swallowed, his eyes wide. "Spirit. So it's looking at our character, not just our intellect. It's judging us as beings, not just explorers." "Yes," Alara said firmly, "and we must rise to that challenge. Humanity is more than machines and tools. We have heart, we have courage, and we have the ability to act together. That is what will see us through." The figure dissolved, leaving the crew alone. A section of the floor slid open, revealing a staircase leading down into darkness. The symbols along the walls formed a soft, guiding light, illuminating the path. The air felt charged with anticipation, almost as if the ship itself was holding its breath. As they descended, the environment changed subtly. Gravity shifted, becoming lighter in some areas and heavier in others. The walls seemed to pulse like veins. Breathing in time with some hidden rhythm, the crew felt an uncanny sensation of being observed, not by sensors, but by the ship itself. "This is unsettling," Rena said. "It's as if we're not just moving through space, we're moving through something alive. Something that can sense our every thought." Alara nodded. "Precisely. That's why we must stay focused and united. Fear or recklessness could cost us more than just progress. It could endanger us entirely." They reached a chamber filled with floating platforms, each hovering several feet above the floor. The platforms shifted slowly, creating a path across the room. Symbols glowed along their edges, forming patterns that suggested a sequence. "It's another test," Shaw said. "We have to step on the platforms in the correct order. But the order isn't written, it's intuitive. The ship wants us to understand it, not force it." Alara studied the patterns. "Then we think, we observe, and we communicate. This is about teamwork. We succeed together, or not at all." They began to move carefully. One wrong step caused a platform to pulse violently with light, but they quickly adjusted, observing how the ship reacted to their intentions rather than their mistakes. Slowly, they progressed across the room, moving in harmony. The platforms responded to their unity, and by the time they reached the far side, the symbols glowed steadily, a sign of approval. Rena exhaled in relief. "We did it. The ship, it's acknowledging us." Alara smiled faintly. "One challenge at a time. There will be more. But we're learning. The ship isn't just testing our skills, it's testing our ability to work as one, to show patience and understanding." The next chamber they entered was lined with panels that projected holographic images of alien worlds in constant flux. Cities rose and fell, forests grew and receded, and oceans shifted as civilizations adapted to their environments. The crew realized the ship was teaching them about life itself, its fragility, resilience, and the interconnectedness of all things. Dr. Shaw pointed to one holographic scene. "Look at this planet. Its species faced extinction. Yet they survived through cooperation and ingenuity. The ship is showing us examples of civilizations that succeeded, and those that failed. It's teaching us lessons." Rena touched a holographic display, and it responded to her presence. "It's interactive. We can learn from it, study it, understand it, but it's also testing us. Every choice we make in interacting with these worlds matters. The ship is evaluating our ethics, our judgment, our consist." Alara's gaze swept across the room. "Then we act with wisdom, with empathy, and with courage. That is how we demonstrate our worth. Humanity's strength isn't just in technology. It's in our spirit, our ability to care and to act wisely." Suddenly, the ship pulsed with energy, and a section of the wall slid open. Beyond it lay a chamber dominated by a massive crystalline structure. The surface of the crystal shimmered with colors beyond human comprehension, and faint images of distant galaxies flowed within it. "This must be the core of the vessel," Shaw whispered. "The heart of its intelligence. It's beautiful and terrifying." Rena stepped closer, her hand hovering over the crystal. "It's responding to us. The colors shift with our presence, our focus, our intentions. It's alive, and it wants to see what we're made of." Alara placed a hand gently on the crystal. "Then we show it. We show the ship that humanity can rise to challenges, that we can act with courage, intelligence, and compassion. We are worthy of its knowledge and its mission." The crystal pulsed with a deep, resonant hum. Vibrations traveled through the floor, and the air shimmered with energy. Images flooded their minds. Civilizations lost to time, planets teeming with life, and the vast, interconnected web of existence. It was overwhelming, yet it carried a lesson. Knowledge and power must be tempered with wisdom and responsibility. Rena gasped. "It's giving us knowledge, but it's also asking questions. It's testing our character, our intentions, our unity. This is more than exploration, it's a trial of who we are." Shaw nodded. "And we are learning. Humanity has survived and thrived because we adapt, we cooperate, and we strive for understanding. This is our opportunity to prove that we are worthy of the legacy this ship carries." Alara felt a surge of determination. "Then we continue. Step by step, challenge by challenge. We show the ship the best of humanity, our courage, our intelligence, and our heart. That is what will see us through." The ship responded with a deeper hum, almost approvingly. Sections of the floor and walls shifted, revealing new paths, new chambers, and new lessons. The crew realized that this journey was not only about exploring the vessel, but about understanding themselves and what humanity could become. As they moved forward, they encountered challenges that tested their patience, intelligence, and unity. Puzzles required them to think, not as individuals but as a team. Obstacles demanded creative solutions and adaptability. Each success strengthened their bond, and each failure reminded them of the importance of cooperation and trust. Hours passed, though time felt strange inside the ship. The crew felt both exhausted and invigorated, as if the vessel itself was pushing them to their limits while nurturing their potential. They were learning, growing, and evolving, guided by an intelligence older than human history. Finally, they reached a chamber that opened onto a vast observation deck. From here, they could see the barren surface of Damaris, 9 below, and the distant stars above. The ship's systems pulsed around them, and for the first time, The crew sensed the full scale of the vessel's power and purpose. Alara took a deep breath. This is it. The ship has tested us, and we have risen to the challenge. But the journey is far from over. Ahead lies the heart of its mission, the reason it waits for those capable of understanding it. We must be ready, Rena nodded, and we will be. Humanity has always faced the unknown with courage, curiosity, and unity. This ship, it is no different. It tests us. Yes, but it also teaches us. And we will learn. Dr. Shaw placed a hand on Alara's shoulder. We are witnessing something extraordinary. The ship is alive, aware, and sentient. It challenges us not just to survive, but to rise above, to embody the very best of who we are. That is the essence of humanity. Alara looked out at the stars, her resolve unwavering. Then we rise. Together, as a team, as humans. The ship has awakened, and with it, our journey into the unknown begins. And no matter what awaits us, we will face it with courage, wisdom, and heart. The vessel pulsed around them, almost as if acknowledging their determination. The ancient ship had awakened fully now, its systems humming in harmony with the crew's resolve. The tests had prepared them, challenged them, and taught them. The next step would take them deeper, beyond the ship's halls, and into the infinite possibilities of space, knowledge, and destiny. The hum of the vessel grew stronger, reverberating through the observation deck and deep into the hearts of those who had awakened it. Humanity had passed its trial, but the true journey, the mission of the ancient ship, and the future of those chosen to wield its legacy, was only beginning. Captain Alara Venn, with her crew at her side, felt the weight of responsibility settle upon her. This was more than discovery. This was a chance to prove that humanity, in all its flaws and strengths, could rise to meet the challenges of the cosmos. Guided not only by knowledge, but by courage, wisdom, and heart. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, the ancient ship pulsed once more, a living testament to the past, and a beacon for the future. Humanity was ready, and the journey into the unknown was about to begin. The ship's hum grew louder, as Captain Alara Venn and her crew moved deeper into the heart of the vessel. The corridors expanded and curved impossibly, as if the ship was breathing around them. Every step vibrated through the floor and into their bones, resonating with an intelligence far older than anything humanity had ever known. The crew had passed tests of skill, patience, and unity, but now, something greater awaited them, a trial not only of knowledge or courage, but of their very spirit. This is it, Alara said quietly, her voice steady despite the tension. The core of the vessel. What lies ahead will determine if we are truly worthy of its legacy. Rena Kaur adjusted her sensors. Captain, the energy readings are off the charts. It's like the ship itself is alive, aware, and anticipating us. Every movement we make, it senses and responds to. Dr. Kiran Shaw stepped closer to the shimmering walls. It's no longer just testing us, it's opening itself, showing us its full potential. We need to be careful but also ready to embrace whatever it offers. This is beyond exploration, it's communion. The chamber they entered was vast beyond comprehension. The ceiling arched high into darkness, with glowing symbols flowing like rivers of light. At its center floated a massive crystalline structure, pulsating with energy that seemed to radiate life. Streams of light extended from it in every direction, connecting to parts of the ship that the crew had not yet seen. Alara stepped forward, feeling the hum of the vessel resonate through her chest. This is the heart. Everything we've experienced, the puzzles, the tests, the knowledge, it's all led here. This is where the ship evaluates our readiness. The crystal pulsed. And suddenly, the ship filled their minds with visions. They saw alien worlds teeming with life, civilizations rising and falling, and cosmic phenomena that defied human understanding. Stars exploded, civilizations adapted, and life endured against unimaginable odds. The images flowed rapidly, overwhelming their senses but also conveying a sense of purpose. It's showing us the universe, Rena whispered, awe in her voice. All of it. And how life survives. How it evolves. The ship isn't just a vessel, it's a teacher. A guardian of knowledge and life itself. Dr. Shaw nodded. And it's testing us still. Look at how it reacts to our emotions. Every time we hesitate, it pulses differently. Every time we show courage or cooperation, it hums in harmony. It wants to see if we can rise to the challenge of becoming its partners. Alara's eyes scanned the chamber. Then we show it what humanity is capable of. Not just intelligence, but wisdom. Not just courage, but empathy. Not just strength, but unity. That is what will earn us the right to carry its legacy. As they approached the crystal, the floor beneath them vibrated in a rhythmic pattern, almost like a heartbeat. The hum of the ship grew louder, enveloping them in sound and energy. Light streams from the crystal intertwined with the glowing symbols on the walls, forming intricate patterns that seemed to pulse in response to their presence. Rena reached out tentatively. Captain, it's reacting to us. We're influencing it just by being here, by being together. It's alive, and it's aware of our intentions. Alara placed her hand gently on the crystalline surface. The light pulsed in response, and suddenly, the chamber expanded in every direction. New pathways appeared, each leading to areas the crew had never explored. Symbols shifted along the walls, forming new sequences and patterns that seemed designed to test their unity and understanding once more. This is the final test, Alara said. We've learned to cooperate, to observe, to respect the ship. Now we must demonstrate that we can carry its mission forward. The first challenge appeared before them. A floating platform suspended over a deep void. The platform was covered with symbols that shifted and twisted in complex patterns. To cross safely, the crew had to move in perfect coordination, thinking as one, trusting each other completely. Alara stepped onto the platform, signaling the others to follow. Remember what we've learned. Move carefully, act as one. The ship responds to unity, not force. They began to cross, each step requiring perfect timing and trust. The platform shifted in response to their movements, sometimes tilting dangerously, other times stabilizing as they synchronized their steps. The symbols pulsed with light, providing subtle guidance, yet also testing their judgment. Rena stumbled once, but Shaw reached out, steadying her. We do this together, he said firmly. Every step, every decision, we face it as one. By the time they reached the far side, the platform glowed steadily, a sign of approval. The ship's hum deepened, almost like a voice acknowledging their success. This is what it wants, Alara said. Proof that we can act together, with trust, patience, and understanding. That is the essence of humanity it seeks. The next chamber was a vast hall filled with holographic images of alien beings. Some were peaceful, others fierce, but all demonstrated the range of life the ship had encountered. The crew realized the vessel was teaching them empathy, showing them the consequences of actions, the fragility of civilizations, and the importance of cooperation. Dr. Shaw touched one hologram, and it responded, replaying a scenario in which a civilization failed due to mistrust and conflict. It's a lesson, he said softly. It's showing us what happens when beings cannot act wisely together, and it wants to see if we can learn from it. Rena focused on another hologram, depicting a civilization that had survived a catastrophic event through unity and compassion. It's asking us to choose the path of wisdom and empathy, to prove that we can act with care, even when the stakes are high. Alara's gaze swept the room. Then we act accordingly. We show the ship that humanity is capable of making the right choices, not just for ourselves, but for others. That is what will earn us its trust and its legacy. Suddenly, the crystalline heart pulsed brighter than ever, flooding the chamber with radiant energy. The ship's hum resonated in their minds, and a projection appeared before them. The figure of the keeper, more vivid and imposing than any before. You have learned, and you have demonstrated unity, courage, and empathy. the figure intoned. Now, the final choice awaits. You may return to your world, bearing knowledge to advance your civilization, or you may join the vessel, carry its mission, and extend life and wisdom across the stars. The choice is yours, and yours alone. The crew exchanged glances. The weight of the decision pressed upon them. Returning to Earth with the knowledge they had gained could change humanity forever. Yet the opportunity to continue the ship's mission, to explore, protect, and nurture life across the galaxy, was unprecedented, a chance to become part of something greater than themselves. Alara took a deep breath. We've come this far because we have courage. Because we have learned to act together. The ship didn't just test our minds, it tested our hearts. And now we face the choice it has prepared for us. Rena's voice was quiet but resolute. Captain, I say we continue. Humanity is ready to rise to the challenge. We can learn, explore, and guide life where it is needed. This is why we were chosen. Dr. Shaw nodded, his eyes shining. I agree. Knowledge alone is not enough. We must act. We must carry the legacy forward. We can be part of something eternal. Alara looked at the glowing crystal, feeling the hum of the ship reverberate through her body. Then we choose to continue. We will join the vessel, and together, we will honor the wisdom and life it has preserved. Humanity will rise to its true potential. The ship pulsed in response, the light streams intensifying, wrapping around the crew as if welcoming them fully. The crystalline heart expanded, sending waves of energy that filled every chamber, every corridor. The vessel seemed to stretch and awaken, no longer dormant but alive in every sense of the word. Suddenly, the walls and floors shifted, forming a launch chamber unlike any human construction. The hull of the ancient ship trembled with energy, and the crew realized it was preparing to leave the planet. The barren landscape of Damaris 9 was no longer a constraint, it was the starting point of a journey into the stars. Alara, Rena, and Shaw worked together, synchronizing with the ship's systems. It was as if the vessel were a living entity, and they were now its partners, its crew, and its guardians. Every action required coordination and understanding, and they moved as one with the ship. The ground beneath them shook as the engines or whatever mechanism propelled the vessel activated. Light streamed from the hull, illuminating the mountains, valleys, and deserts of the planet below. Dust rose into the air, swirling like a storm. Yet the ship remained steady, guided by its own intelligence and by the unity of the humans aboard. As they lifted from the surface, the crew felt the weight of responsibility settle upon them. They were no longer merely explorers, they were stewards of life, knowledge, and wisdom. The vessel carried the legacy of civilizations long gone, and offered humanity a chance to rise beyond its limits. The stars stretched before them, endless and infinite. Each one a potential world, a story, a lesson. The ancient ship hummed, resonating with the pulse of life itself, and within its heart, humanity had found its place not as conquerors or invaders, but as partners, learners, and guardians. Alara gazed out at the stars, her resolve unwavering. We have awakened the ship, passed its trials, and proven our worth. Now, we embark on a journey that will shape the future, not just for humanity, but for all life that we encounter. And we will rise to the challenge. Together, the vessel accelerated into the void, leaving Damaris 9 behind. Streams of light followed its path, a testament to the ancient power now allied with human courage and spirit. The crew stood together, united, aware that the journey ahead would test them in ways they could not yet imagine. But they were ready. Humanity had passed the trial. The ancient ship had awakened fully, and the mission spanning stars, worlds, and lifetimes was theirs to continue. And as the vessel vanished into the cosmos, the hum of life, knowledge, and unity echoed across the stars, a beacon for the future and a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. The journey had begun, and nothing could stop it.